You can hit us up in the comments and let me know, does this man look like Jason Momoa? Right, a very common question that we get is what your foot position should be or how wide should your squat be? And the answer is whatever's comfortable for you, but how do you find that out? Well, my question, and it's really simple when you're starting out as a beginner. What foot position, how would you stand if you were going to jump as high as you can? So for Gary, when we're setting up his stance and we're looking at the blocks, we're warming and we're preparing him to do a squat in a moment, it's deciding on where he should stand. So for me, as I said before, always go with your athletic position, which is feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and imagine you're going to jump as high as you can. So rather than thinking just, I'm inside, I'm a little tight, nice and wide, good base, and then we can jump from there. As we get into warm, so look at your squat, make sure you can squat properly, but today is about getting your squat a lot better. It's about learning the right movement patterns, making sure we're in the right areas, we're not rolling forward, we're not caving at the knee, about your form and your technique. Lads, what I want you to do now is just watch Matt squat and just get some coaching cues watching one of the more advanced lads like Matt or Ben squatting, okay? The difference with Matt being, he's using a little bit of a lower bar squat, which is good, but we're not going to give him quite the same cues for strength because we're trying to grow his legs. His goals are aesthetics. He's got no intention of competing in a powerlifting competition.
Starting your head quite a little down, didn't you? And you kind of gradually bring your head up more and then later reps wide. You know, is that just a decision that you make, or is that you just doing what you do?
Probably just doing what I do. Obviously, I'm conscious of what you said before, of trying to get my chest up and stuff, so maybe I throw my head up.
Yeah, you know, and it made you go really slow. You started to bring your head up, and then when you did it fast, you move your head down a bit. I think you're just thinking about it less. You're like, if you don't respect it, it's 60 kilos, so I don't fucking respect it.
Yeah.
Let's do 100. So that really, really slow one.
Yeah.
Let's just go half faster, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll just do like 3.
Your form's much, much better when you slow it down. At the moment, when you do your fast reps, you have quite a lot of caving forward. You do quite a lot of that when you're doing it. Is a lot of that you're folding forward, which is what we spoke about you're not doing, because that's going to hurt your back. But it's loading your spine, and it's almost because you're like a little bit lackadaisical with it. That's where the safety bar's got to help you, because that weight's on top of you, and it'll make you brace and push up and back. When you're with this now, Matt, really think about deep breath brace. You have that side forward lean as you're squatting, but don't, if you know instead of bracing there, if you relax in the bottom or you think you've done the rep, you'll have that tweak. And then the problem with that is, right, when it's too heavy, this is important, when that's too heavy and that happens, and then you get stuck or you grind the rep, the only way to get that back is to do a good morning and grind it, and that's when you're going to hurt your back. Because you can't squat the weight from here anymore because you're over your toes, right? Your heels are lifting up a little bit. Now you're in a bad position. Now that can be because of like a little bit of lapse in concentration that you fell for, but now you know what you need to do is how am I going to get it back? Well, for you, you've hurt your back in the past. That is fucking not going to be a good movement for you grinding that out. So it's really important we stay switched on the whole time. All right? Yeah. Did anyone see that there? Can we all see the difference there in terms of like how much forward lean he's got and how much he's caving, and if he relaxes or not in terms of that rock, right? Now Jerome can give you the technical breakdown on that, but for me it's as simple as if you're bracing, if you're aggressive, if you create remember, compound lifts, full body lifts, you need to create tension from your feet to your neck, to your top of your head. It's your full body. If you don't, that's when you get these little breaks in the chain, whether it's like a roll forward, whether it's your knee, whatever it is. Obviously along the way you'll have other technical issues, but as a bare minimum, creating tension, bracing, thinking about your form, and then the rest will fall with the weight.
Hit head up, mate. Stack your head.
How Ben, where's Brett? See how Ben has that cue that I'm talking about? See how Ben's already tilted a little bit?
Midfoot, drive high. Bang. Good. Stack the head, mate.
See if you're watching speed, that's because of them shoes. See how he's rolling in. He needs a pair of trainers, really.
Come on, let's go.
They're all right. They're not great for this. Good. Raggett.
What's happening there, mate, is when you're getting tired and you're not watching what you're doing at the bottom, you're getting slightly complacent, in my opinion. You're here, you're falling, and then you're cycling.
I think,
yeah.
but I think
you're
as
at the
well,
bottom, you're here, and you're going. Yeah,
I don't think your shoes aren't helping you either. I think. I don't know about flat foot. I mean, because your feet in the bottom position, right? But what I would say for that is, and this is something for all you to do in between. This is a good cue, but it's just a good exercise in general. In general, in your own sessions, in your rest time, never just be stood about. Be watching, listening to people, seeing what you can learn. But a really good one, just like I was saying, sit in the bottom. But Brett was doing that before, right? Brett was sitting in the bottom before, and you might do this at home or wherever you are when you're training. It's no good sitting here being like that, because your fucking feet are that tight, you can't actually get your heels on the floor. And it's no good sitting here, but being fucking like Quasimodo like this, and hanging out. If you're gonna do it, you need to do it properly with a straight spine, as if you're actually squatting, right? So if you can't get there, your regression is like any exercise, you need to regress it and do something that's gonna get you to that position. So a really good one for Ben at the minute, his ankle's moving in. That could be a number of things, right? But we'll just take the lowest hanging fruit, we'll just do something we can all do in between. So for me, really simple. You can be stretching your calves on the side of the rack, just stretch your calves in between 10, 20, 30 seconds each foot. Another one you can do is just little ankle rotations. Flexion, dorsiflexion, just practicing, getting blood in your ankles, but just practicing that movement, that mobility. So just stretching in between, so little rotations, right? So in between every time do 5 clockwise, 5 anti-clockwise, 5 up, 5 down each leg. And then the next simple one is just stretch your calves. Stretch your calves for 30 seconds. Then when we go back to squatting here, before, someone whose heel might have been rocking in or rocking over here, it might not fix it, it could be something else. But that's a really easy one to fix, isn't it? You haven't got to go to a physio and find out that your fucking glutes are tight or whatever. We can all just sit in between and just fucking do a little bit extra mobility, can't we? That's really easy, because it's no good copying what Matt does or Ben does or what I do or what Jerome does if you can't get here in the fucking first place and your legs are like this, all right? Now, I've spoken about this before for deadlifting, but a very common question that we get is, what shoes should you be wearing? Now, you might see your favorite bro or bodybuilder wearing Jordans in the gym or something similar, right? Lots of bodybuilders wear Jordans because they look cool as fuck. But also, what have bodybuilders been doing? Training for fucking years. You shouldn't take lessons or examples from people who are already doing something that you can't do or haven't done yet. You have to get to a level before you can make little adjustments or adjust the attire of your fucking favorite character. You need to be able to do it first. Now the lads here, they've all got different shoes on, or they did have. Gary's taking his off for some reason. But we've got Nike Metcons, you might have seen these. CrossFit shoe. Not a big fan of CrossFit, am I? But these nice and flat, hard sole. What that means is, when we're squatting, when we're training, it gives them a nice stable base of support. They've got a slight elevation in the heel, bit of an all-rounder. You can do everything. You can squat, you can deadlift, you can do the whole lot. Is it the best shoe for squatting? Probably not. When we look at squats, what I would say the best is Big Welsh Mike, the Welsh Dragon. Give us one of them shoes, mate. Lifting shoes. People say, are lifting shoes worth the investment? Is it worth being able to squat better? Of course it is. If you haven't got the ankle mobility to get to the bottom of a squat without your ankle rolling in, then these will help. They'll elevate your heel. All you need to do to test that is, if you're someone who with body weight squats better with plates underneath their feet, or for example when you stood on here and you can squat better and you can get into this position and it feels better, you could do with investing in a pair of weightlifting or powerlifting shoes with an elevated heel. Now the reason that I say this is that people sometimes see people on social media like myself or on YouTube and they're wearing certain shoes and it might look cool, but you need to think, does that mean that you can do it? Vans are very, very flat. Vans and barefoot, I think for most people, although you're giving yourself a stable base and in Jordans you look cool and it might be flat, it might be a hard sole, for most people you're actually putting yourself at a disadvantage. For most people, squatting barefoot, just because I've said many times on videos to deadlift barefoot, squatting barefoot isn't a good idea. You're losing that elevation, which means you're going to hinder your ankle mobility if you've got tight calves, hamstrings, whatever it is. And ultimately, you might affect your depth, you might have to compensate from somewhere else, your ankle might roll in, and your squat won't be as good. So please think about your footwear, maybe invest in some lifting shoes, but do your homework.